Okay, I think we're live. I could be wrong. Apparently there are 3 people watching. Woo, 3 people. So if you're here and you can hear me, put something in the comments. There we go. Daryl says hello. Hello Daryl, how we doing? If you've been following on Facebook, I think I posted that if I can remember how to do it, we'll have a live stream tonight. So it was a bit of an impromptu decision to do this. And it turns out I can't remember how to do it, so that's why we're about 5 minutes late, because I can't remember how to do any of these things. Streamlabs is all changed. YouTube live streaming has all changed. There's things flashing at me from all directions. This thing here, this orange bit, I don't know what that's all about. And I can't get it to go away. I think my chat is meant to populate this part, but it ain't happening. But at least Daryl says you can hear me good. So if there's anyone else out there, let me know. Say hello. I want to hear some or see some voices in the chat. And then we will talk a little bit about various things that you might have seen recently. There's been a few videos done by, in particular the ones that I saw, were by Bob Steenfort and by Joseph from JH Aquatics about this. It's called the Goldfish Swim. I'll just bear with me a second while I find the page that I was going to look at here. So there has been a petition lodged. If I switch over to that screen. So we've got a petition here on change.org, which has got over 8,000 signatures, but this is an event tomorrow in Ohio, in the good old US of A. And the premise is, as you can see from the little poster here, kids aged 12 and under try and catch 1,002 goldfish. Interesting. What they're doing there is filling, so there's a community centre, and I think it's called Springdale, there you go, Springdale Parks and Recreation Centre in Springdale, Ohio, having their annual Goldfish Swim. And they have a swimming pool, like a regular communal swimming pool, chlorine and all, that they're going to fill with 1,000 goldfish, and then kids are going to jump in, grab the goldfish, stuff them in a bag, stuff them in a little bucket, whatever it might be, and take them home. Sounds great. Not. So I've been doing a little bit of online reading to get myself geared up for this. And if you take some of the pictures, this is the type of thing that's going to happen. So you've got little kids, and it is going to be damned exciting for the little kids, but they're going to end up taking them home in little things like this. And look at the size of these goldfish. These goldfish will grow to over a foot. So, as you can imagine, there's lots of people doing the whole, oh, this is going to be it's a massive, it's animal abuse, basically. That's what the big cry is. But some of the things that I noticed, hang on, let me see if I can get back to my bit. Ooh. So you've got little kids, and it is going to be damn exciting for the little kids. Oh, hang on, I've pressed the button, I don't know what I've done. These goldfish will grow to over a foot. So, as you can imagine, there we go, we'll just cut that down. Alright, lots of people saying they can hear me well. Thank you. Adam saying the lip sync is out. I don't know if I can fix that, but this is only going to be a short stream, so hopefully you can put up with it for a little while. Or if I just hide myself behind the microphone, you won't be able to tell whether the lip sync is out or not. Yeah, so I'm reading some of the comments now. So the idea is, obviously, you get this swimming pool, you chuck in all these goldfish, all the kids jump in, try and take home some goldfish. Right. So the problems there is, it's a swimming pool, so it's going to be full of chlorine. There's been a huge petition, as I said, and lots of people have been trying to get in touch with these people and let them know that they think it's a bad idea. So they have made some concessions, as far as I can tell, where they said that they would drain and refill the pool. But as Joseph from JH Aquatics pointed out in his live stream, there are so many knock-on things here, knock-on effects, that it just seems, it blows my mind that anyone thinks this is a good idea and anyone thinks that they should at least do it. if you fill it up with fresh water, let's say, and you treat that water and make sure it's not got any chlorine in it and it's safe for the fish, is it then safe for the kids? I don't know if I would want my kids, especially if you're filling it with 1,000 fish and then stressing the hell out of these fish. They're going to be going crazy. That water's going to get pretty murky and pretty disgusting pretty quickly. So I don't know if I'd want my kids swimming about in that, thinking, oh, this is great fun. But then again, it's the same as any other pond or any wild swimming that you might do. But it's the thing that until someone has been prodded with these things, saying, well, I think this is bad, no, they haven't made any of these concessions. And the thing I didn't realise is this has been going on for 40 years or more. So it kind of blows the mind. Excuse me, we'll have a swig of Lidl's finest. We've got the Ginger Grizzly tonight. Let me know in the chat what you're having, what your favourite tipple is tonight. So there's lots of things, and I don't want to leap in and just go, oh my god, outrage, 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 because that is the typical response, and you can see why. But it made me think about what we have in this country. So obviously I'm from the UK, as are many of you, and you'll remember as a kid, fairgrounds, things like that. Even one of my fellow UK YouTubers, Simply Shrimps, he did a video recently, I think he works in a Maidenhead Aquatics, and he made a video about an experience he'd had where someone had come in and asked to buy 250 goldfish or something like that, which made him raise an eyebrow. So it was clear that this was someone from a circus or a fair or whatever it is, looking to buy goldfish to stick in a bag to sell off as prizes, not sell off, but give away as prizes for one of the fairground games, whatever it might be. So it's not something that happens purely in America, so it's not something we go, oh, you guys are terrible, get a grip of yourselves and sort it out. It is something that happens all over the place. So I remember this, and I remember thinking, oh, that's a bit dodgy when we had it in this country, and I have one goldfish. Over the years, even fairly recently, in the last 10 years or so, I think. No, a bit longer than that. Anyway, we got one and we put it in my mother-in-law's pond. Dead now, surprise, surprise, because that's what happens to the majority of these fish. When you buy a fish, or you win a fish, or you get a fish, when you're not expecting or prepared or wanting a fish, you're always playing catch up. So you're getting a fish, and if you're getting a goldfish from a fair or from a swim meet or whatever the hell it is, it's not going to be in the best conditions. It's already going to be struggling, especially in this case, the Ohio version. If people are grabbing them with their hands, they're going to be damaging these fish and scaring the hell out of them, and you're going to have a very, very stressed fish that even if you are prepared for it, you do have a tank with some cycled filter and cycled water in it, it's still going to be struggling. It's going to be playing catch up from day one. So it's not the way to do it. And I noticed there's been a few people saying, well, I'm driving over to this Ohio place and they're going to protest. That's great. I think protest is good, but I'm thinking if the tables were turned and I was an attendee of this event and some weirdo fish nerds like myself turn up, that's not going to play well, and I don't know that's the best way to act, or the best way to get a result, if you like, especially as I think some of the advice from some of the official channels was, if you see any evidence of animal abuse or dead fish or that kind of thing, take pictures. This is also going to be an event where there's going to be lots of young kids running around in their swimming costumes. Do you want to be the guy taking pictures of young kids running around in their swimming costumes? Because I wouldn't want to be that guy. So I think some of the people were mentioning that they're going to go with a load of flyers of how to take care of your fish, or maybe go along with some advice with what meds to buy or what size of tank to get and all that kind of thing. And as Joseph pointed out, this is a missed opportunity for the local big box store, Petco or PetSmart or whatever it might be. They should be getting out there, setting up a stall and selling off fish tanks and fish food and filter starter and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I thought I'd chime in and say, from the other point of view, from across the pond, if you like, yeah, R.I.P. Billfishes, quite right, Chris. That is the long and the short of it is a lot of these fish are going to die, and I think some of the reasoning or the loopholes that these guys have employed to get around this is they've classed them as bait fish, or feeder fish, or I can't remember quite what it is. I think it was bait fish that they got away with calling them. And it's that thing that really annoys me, because what's the difference? A fish is a fish. So yeah, a fish has rights, or a fish has feelings, or it doesn't. Not whether or not it's one type of fish or another. Which is similar to, we have rules here in the UK where, for instance, the Royal Mail. You're technically not allowed to post fish in the Royal Mail, but post shrimp, that's fine, because they don't have a spine. And you think, so it's fine to be cruel to one thing but not the other. Not that it's even cruel, but you know what I mean. It's the hypocrisy, if you like. So it's that side of thing that gets me, that if you have to employ loopholes, then you know you're doing something wrong, I guess, is where I'm coming from. So you think that they would know this by now. Anyway, let's see if we can go back and catch up on the chat, and I'll see what's going on. So we've got Daryl, and we've got David Fieldman. Hi Dave, the pessimistic optimist. Oh, hello there, not seen you for a while. Adam78, bloody hell, is it a leap year? Well, yeah, it took a while to get this stream going, I must admit. As I said at the start, if you didn't miss it, everything's changed. So OBS has been updated about 5 times. YouTube's been updated about 5 times since the last time I did a live stream. I could barely get this started, so apologies for being a few minutes late when I did get going. And I'm telling me the lip sync's out, so I'll just hide behind the microphone a bit longer. We've got Jamie in from Wales, Select Pet. I think I'll have to touch someone's health or money before anything will really be done. Yeah, and that's it. If it's, from all I can understand, these guys in Springdale or whatever it's called, they do a lot for the community, and this is an event that's been running for a long time. But there are other options. Someone mentioned, why don't you just fill the pool with 1,000 ping pong balls and see if the kids can grab them and then give them the fish. Things like that. There are ways around this. I'm not saying that that's a good thing then because they've done that, because I still don't think you should be giving away fish like that without the education that's needed to be able to keep a fish and keep it happy and all the blah 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 blah. I mean, there's also a flip side to this. What happens if they do manage to get this cancelled? I mean, this event's tomorrow. And there's people in that petition that I showed you earlier, 8,000 signatures. If they turn around and say, fine, we will cancel it, what do you think is going to happen to those fish? They're not going to keep them for another year, are they? They're just going to end up getting flushed away or stuffed in a waterway or something like that. So I don't think there is a good answer here. The pessimist is drinking gin. Greetings from Poland. Hello there, Muckray. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I've seen your name around a few times. Aquatic Maz in from Florida. Chris saying RIP pool fishies, quite right. Gerard from Republic of Ireland, hello there. Simple Fish Life, God, imagine, are you still around? I've not seen any of your videos for a while, are you still going? Daryl's saying hello to people. Jamie's lip sync is out by a lot, I'll leave and come back and see if that helps. Is it out by that much? Let me just turn the sound back on. I'm just going to turn my mic off and see if I can listen. Chris saying RIP pool fishies, quite right. Gerard from Republic of Ireland, hello there. You're quite right, it's out by loads. Let me see if I can fix that. So if we're on the main one, what's it called? It's called a webcam, isn't it? Oh no, it's called a mic. Properties. Turn that to 0, close. Try that. Is that working yet? Let me know in the chat if that sounds better. So I'll give you a little bit of an insight here. The reason that this is all messed up is because my son has been wanting to play Fortnite and record himself playing Fortnite on the Xbox. We have to do that through a capture card, which adds a delay. So I've been putting in delays between the mic and the Xbox and the webcam and trying to marry them all up. So I had various delays set in. So hopefully that'll be it fixed. I may need to jump out and jump back in again. But if that doesn't work, I'll sort it for the next one. Not sure how often I'm going to do these live streams. They take... they're not hard to do or anything like that, but it's quite an upheaval making sure I get everyone to go away and leave me alone for an hour while I talk to you guys, and then talking constantly for an hour. As much as I like the sound of my own voice, it's hard to do a little bit. Hey, so anyway, it's spot on now. Excellent. Yeah, so there's a comment there. My local pets at home isn't much better than the swimming pool. I see that a lot, and this is one of the things I think about, is the comparison with this type of animal abuse. Get me a salad. It's comparing wanton animal abuse from ignorant animal abuse and accidental animal abuse. So on this side, you've got people who have obviously got the awareness now that people are telling them this is a bad idea, don't do this thing, yet they're continuing to do it. They're making concessions, which means they know that it's not right. They are finding loopholes to get through doing this, so they know it's not right. So I would put that in the far end of the scale for the wanton animal abuse. And then you've got your other end of the scale of your accidental stuff. People who overstock their fish tanks, your king of DIY that's just doing too much that you can't handle and end up giving the fish a bad life. That's down at the lower end. That's people with the best of intentions, either accidentally or just not having the skills or the competence to make sure that it's okay, and they suffer a little bit, and that can happen. I don't think we should demonise either people. I think we should, says the guy who demonised one of them, I don't think we should demonise either party. We should be trying to educate them. And sometimes when they don't take that education, that's when something like a change.org petition might be able to help. Who knows? So, lots of people saying that it's fixed. I'm glad. I think that's what it was. Hopefully that's okay. So I've got a question here. What do you think of the butterfly telescope goldfish? They're trying to breed to standard in the UK so they can show them. Yeah. So these are the fish with the ginormous eyes. For those who don't know, let's see if we can look one up and show you. Oh, no. Yeah. Telescope, isn't it? Everybody like my extremely annoyingly loud keyboard. Brilliant, isn't it? So we're talking this sort of thing. So it's this sort of thing with the eyes, and these are actually quite tame compared to some of the ones you can see with the bubble eyes and things like that. I don't like them personally, but I get that people like them. I'm not sure. Again, I don't want to force my opinion on others and say, well, I don't like them, therefore you're not allowed them. It's similar to some types of dog breed where they've been bred to such a level that they can't give birth naturally and things like that. And you think, well, you've gone too far there, pal. I think these are getting into that area, but maybe not quite as bad. I don't know. What do you think? What's your thoughts on the butterfly telescopes? Apologies, it's very rude to drink in front of others. Aquatic Maz listening while out in the yard. Yes, garden as we say over here. So how have we got? We've got 19 people in. That's not bad for having a year off of live chats and live streams rather. What other news have we got for you? Well, one of the other reasons I was running around late after this is I've just taken on a rescue. A rescue. One of my neighbours had given me a fish tank and some white cloud mountain minnows, or golden cloud mountain minnows, and some amano shrimp and some snails and the fish tank. It's a jewel. It's a really nice fish tank as well, all for free. So the lady of the house collared me in the street the other day and said, "Oh, we've got some fish that they're getting a bit neglected. Can you come and take them off our hands and help?" So I said, yeah, sure, I'll come and have a look. And I went to go around tonight and collect them. And then the husband of the house was like, they're not neglected. I really like them. It's my wife that doesn't like them. So I think I might have walked out of the domestic with a free fish tank and some free fish. But he's welcome to come and visit. If you're watching, Dave, by all means, come over and visit anytime you like. But I've got a really nice fish tank out of it. And some really nice fish. And I've been to some really grotty fish tanks in the past where people have said, oh, my fish are a little bit neglected and you can't see in the glass or anything. But it was spotless. The tank was lovely. Really well looked after. So you can look out for that in a future video of having a look at these. And they're quite cool as well. At least one of the shrimp is buried, so we should have some more of them. And some of the minnows looked like they were good to go as well, ready to pop anyway. Yeah, most people saying deformed goldfish, not my cup of tea. So we're talking about the butterflies again, the telescopes. Yeah, much like me, it's not my tea. Even things like which people would class as normal goldfish, like ranchus and things like that. I'm a bit like, it looks like it's got a broken back. That can't be good. I know I've got an Aranda. And Arandas are about as fancy as I fancy getting, because even they look like they've got some kind of... they just don't look right. They look like they're built funny. And I've been stood next to goldfish people who have looked at fish like that and gone, oh my god, it's gorgeous, it's amazing, it's this, that and the other. But I'm always like, it just doesn't look very right. I prefer an old comet that looks like a fish. So maybe I'm just weird. I'm not keen on guppies with massive tails that can't swim properly. Yeah, that's another one. I guess it must be the same in anything. Dogs, cats, birds. You get these traits that are bred in or bred out, and it gets taken to the extreme, and you end up with an animal that just doesn't look quite right and looks a bit gimp. That's probably very un-PC, but you know what I mean. And it can't be good for that particular animal to have to live with it, and it just seems it's a bit sad. I guess that's it. So I know, going back to this Ohio Goldfish Swim thing, I think that's the feeling I'm left with. Because it's a bit sad for all involved. You're going to have 1,000 fish. I'd be surprised if more than 100 made it home alive, or lasted a couple of weeks alive. You're going to have all these kids who are cramming in these goldfish into little tanks. They're going to be dead pleased for about a fortnight until the thing's floating upside down. You're going to have parents that are going to have to be shelling out when all these people finally do get round to them and say, well, actually you need a 4-foot fish tank for that fish. Well, what? Spending hundreds of pounds. Yeah, it seems a bit sad. It could be better managed. I guess that's my overarching feeling. So by all means, sign the petition. I don't think anything can be done this year rather, but maybe they'll sort it out for next year and they'll do something a bit better. The telescopes always pop their eyes, or almost always pop their eyes. Not a suitable morph to me, says Aquatic Ma. Definitely an oddball. I want to give it a try one day. Yeah, it's not for me. I don't think I want to give it a try. I do like goldfish. I do like Arandas. I plan on getting a pond at some point in the back garden. A big one, rather than just a little tiny one that I've got out the front. And when I say a big one, probably not big enough for koi. It'll probably be goldfish that will be going in there. It'll be whether I go for regular old goldfish and shabunkins and things like that, or maybe some fancies. But I won't be getting the weird and wonderful. I guess that's what it is. Jamie asks, are you in any fish clubs or societies? Technically, yes or no. So my local club is SVAS, which is Sheaf Valley Aquarist Society, I think. I'm not a member right now, but, pardon me, to get me around some of the laws, on auction days you go down, you join for the day, and then you leave again, which allows them to sell fish without the proper licensing. Which is another difference with this country. I'll come back onto that in a minute. So I do intend to or want to join properly, but the meetings almost always without fail are on a day I can't get there. So I've just never had the chance to get down there. But by all Woo, by all regards, they're a well-respected fish club. They put on shows every year. They put on auctions regularly. I've been to a few of the auctions and a few of the shows, and I join for the day when I'm down there. They're usually too busy to start talking about joining up properly, but if I put my mind to it, I could email them and ask them to do it that way, but I just never got around to it. I don't know, I don't think I've always been at ease with my fish geekiness. I don't want to admit that I wanted to join a club about it. Might be a bit of that left over. That's long gone now. I'm on the internet talking about it. So technically, no, I'm not in any fish clubs or societies, but I do kind of go to the meetings and auctions of one of them. I've lost my train of thought now. I was going to say something really clever about the goldfish thing. I'm sure it'll come back to me if I just have another little swig. Who knows? Floyd says, I enjoy watching your channel, very informative. Thank you very much. I do try to be. Not always that informative, because a lot of the times I'm asking you guys for advice. But yeah, I do know a few things, and I do have a few ideas, so hopefully if you pick anything up from me, great. Have you watched your friend Michael lately? He's been banging the videos out, I imagine. Yes, Michael and I chat every now and again. I've been watching his videos for years, as has he mine, I think. But yeah, he's doing a lot better than I am. He's just past 20,000 as well. So, if you don't know, I'm an IT geek as well as a fish geek. And I host Michael's website on my server. So there's a bit of transatlantic help going on there. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really happy for him. He's done 20,000 viewers to watch him rant and his manky tanks. Yeah, he's doing pretty well. I'm trying to bang out some videos myself lately. I've been going through a really busy period at work the last few months, and I think the videos have suffered a little bit, as have my stats within YouTube. Michael's Fishroom for Jamie. But yeah, I had to dial back. When something's got to give, something's got to give, and if it's work and family and YouTube, then YouTube's always going to lose out on that one. So hopefully got a bit more breathing space now, so I can get a few more videos out. This is actually my third release in 3 days, and I've even got another video in the pocket, so I might do 4 for 4 days. Tomorrow's video will be about what are they called? Those little fish. Epistogrammas. So that was the Epistogramma cockatoides orange flash, which I mentioned in one of the videos. I got these off eBay. They were a perfect example of the fish club. So my fish club, SFAS, they got one of the renowned breeders from another fish club, Prestons. I think it's Prestons Fish Club. Steve Chester, he came through and did a talk about collecting fish in the wild and the ornamental fish trade and all that kind of stuff. And he brought a load of his fish with him to sell, and I really wanted to get some of his cardinals, but I just couldn't make it to the meeting because I was working away at the time. So I was just scrolling through eBay, and I noticed the similarity in the pictures that he had put on his eBay listing were the same as the pictures that he'd said, these are the fish I'm bringing tonight. So I tried to snap them up as fast as possible. And yeah, really happy then. So I got the Epistos and I got a bunch of cardinals. I've had Epistos before and bred them successfully. They were the Agassizi, or Agassizi, I can never remember how to say that. So I'm going to employ the same sort of techniques for that. But they've been in quarantine, and what I've done, well, I'll make you watch the video to find out what I've done. Let's have a look in the chat again. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. When you get a new tank, what excuse do you give for not getting rid of an old tank? What? Why would you get rid of an old tank? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. No, I've just acquired another new tank, and it's not going to be replacing. It might actually, because it's a really nice tank. I might actually put it here and upgrade this tank, because the new one, it's a dual one. It's 2 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, which is a bit bigger than this one. It's more like the size of that one, which is the pea puffer tank. So it might look better as well, but it's got a lid and hood and lights and all that, so I need to think about the aesthetics. But even still, I'm not going to get rid of that one. If I replace this will go down in the fish room or somewhere else. I'll find a space for it. I'm never going to be happy until the whole house is just water and you have to swim from room to room. Are you two not going to do another video together? Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, Michael and I did do a collab, well, ages ago now. That's Michael's Fish Room for those not in the know. And we planned to do one when I was doing my live streams last, but it never happened. He was too busy that day or whatever, and we just never got round to doing it again. But now that he's YouTube famous, I might be asking him again. Yes, it's Michael from Michael's Fish Room. So yeah, that's a good idea. Well reminded. I shall get on to him. I might say I'll give you a cheap web hosting if you give me some shout outs. Have you been seeing Tim Ragg of late? I haven't. No, we've been chatting about a few things over the last few months, but I haven't seen him for a while. I do need to save up my pennies because I want to get a few more of his excellent quality discus. Tim Ragg, if you don't know, is the guy that runs Corbin Discus. Look them up on Facebook if you're in the UK and you've got any interest in discus. Some of the best around, the best in the country, I would say. He's got a new shipment in, either very recently or either very soon. Well, Mixon, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Aren't you in the same country as I am, roughly? Taking a break from a wedding party to say hello. Hello, I hope it's not your own wedding party. Hello there, how are you doing? How's your shrimp doing? Jamie, tips for building a fish room. Mine's brick, roof replaced and electrics in place, so now the real planning begins. Think about... So what I wish I had more of was more space to do stuff. So my fish room's tiny, it's in my garage and it's only half my garage. And all it is racks of tanks. There's no desk space or no counter space to do stuff. So I think that's quite important. Pardon me. I think making sure you've got your drains in place and where your water's going to drain to. Imagine, this wasn't hard for me, but imagine you're the biggest idiot in the world and you will always make any mistake that it's possible to make and try and plan for it. So I tried to put in 2 or 3 fail-safes for every time I would forget to turn off a hose when I was refilling a tank or whatever it might be. That and insulation is, I think, the biggest. Insulation will save you loads of money, even though it's quite an outlay if you get it done properly. Heating that and keeping it cool in summer will save you loads. Even loads in terms of livestock. Because if you've seen any of my recent videos, I had 3 tanks up high on a rack, and when we had the really, really hot weather here, I mean it was up near 40 degrees, I think while I was away the top rack of tanks got too hot and just killed everything. So I lost a tank full of guppies, I lost the killifish fry, well they weren't even fry, they were getting quite big from these guys, and I had a tank, well I had 5 red crystal shrimp, and I think I've lost at least 2 of them. I can see 2 if not 3, but mind you I went 2 days without seeing any of them, so maybe they're all in there and it's fine. So if you get it insulated properly, you kind of guard against that kind of thing and you save yourself some money over the time. I think I've been getting white slime in my filter, never had it before. It's not in the tank and it clogs the filter very quickly. White slime, I don't think I've ever had that before. Do you mean like the biofilm you get off new wood and things like that? Oh, Aquatic Man says, I do have a question. I see you've got Porthos over there. Does it receive any sunlight? And is it light enough for it to grow? It receives 0 sunlight. The only light it gets... Well, this Porthos, this does receive sunlight because there's a window right here. I try and black it out as much as possible because it gives me huge algae problems with these tanks because the window is so close and the sun is facing this majority of the day. So this does get some sunlight, but I have Porthos in most of my tanks downstairs in the fish room, which is my garage, which has no windows and gets zero sunlight. And if anything, the stuff in the garage grows even better than this stuff. So I think they're very tolerant for low light conditions, is what I would say. The mother plant that all these cuttings came off lives in the downstairs loo, which doesn't get much light either, and it's still doing really well. It seems to be tolerant of warm light, cool light, any kind of light. So it'll take what it can get and it'll thrive. Especially if you've got a tank that's got lots of nitrates in it. I think it gets most of its energy from that. Mickey says, yes, 9:30 PM. You must have started drinking early if you were getting confused and thought it was still the afternoon. Good, I'm glad. So, Mickey's one of the guys that spot some shrimp off me in the past, and he says, the shrimp are producing babies and the tank's full of them. Must be the quality shrimp you sent me. I'll give you that money later. Yes, so that slime, so Pessimistic Optimist said he's getting a white slime in his filter that's clogging stuff up. So I asked, is it the stuff that you get, like the biofilm off wood and things like that? I have had that and I've seen that in the past. It goes away on its own and it's never harmful for fish, but if it's causing you problems in the filter, the only way I can think of to get rid of it is taking the wood out and giving it a wipe and putting it back in, and usually that sorts it. But if you've already done a scape with it, you don't really want to be doing that. But I've found that tetras, especially cardinals, that's most of my experience with cardinals, rummy nose to a lesser degree, love that stuff and they go to town on it. And guppies too, so maybe if it's appropriate, put a few tetras in or a few guppies in and they'll have a feast for a little while. So you have Porthos by a sliding glass door. My lip grass didn't like my tanks and low light. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest botanist. I probably would be in terms of bulk, but no, I'm not the most green-fingered person. Certainly everything that I've got to work is through trial and error rather than actual knowledge. So don't take any advice too seriously from me. How many have we got here? We've got 14 people in. Is that right? That's one of the things. So this little fancy thing down here, down there, that was never working properly. Still it isn't, because it says we've got 21 actually viewing, so might get rid of that. How is everyone else doing? What's everyone doing for the weekend? Anyone buying any new fish? Anyone doing any exciting stuff? So I've got some new fish, as I just told you, from my neighbour. I've never had white clouds or golden clouds before. Looking forward to figuring out what to do with them. Might even put them outside in my little tub. What do you think? Would that be a good idea? The other things that I've got is obviously I've got my cardinal tetras that are going into quarantine. They'll be coming up and going into the big discus display tank. And that itself needs a bit of an overhaul, because again, I'm Mr. Neglectful. I've been neglecting tanks left, right and centre recently. It's got a bit overgrown with algae, but it's got the blackbeard algae, and if you remember me talking about this weird greenbeard algae, it's not greenbeard algae, and I'm sure it's not that weird. It's just like kind of thick, matted green hair algae, if you like, on the leaves of just these two plants, the Anubias. No other plants, and that's what's making me think it's weird. So I'll be doing a video on hydrogen peroxide dosing and treating. My preferred method is to get like a squishy bottle like this, or a smaller one, and take the things out and psh, psh, psh. I'm sure there's another name other than squishy bottle, but that's what I call them. I know some people get syringes and dose directly, and I've only done this one, so I'm by no means an expert, but I'll be making a video on that sometime. You got 20 green neons coming on Wednesday. Oh, where did you get them from? Is that? Hopefully you're in the UK and you can give me a new contact for neons. Thank you, Adam. See you soon. The white clouds should be fine. Do just fine outside. Yes, I'm hoping they will do just fine outside. What I don't want to do is put them outside, have them die immediately, and have my neighbour come round to look at them and go, "Oh, I thought you were some kind of expert, Graham. What's happened here?" I'm sure that won't happen. I'm only doing another 10 minutes or so myself, so if there's anyone out there with any questions for me, by all means get them in. Otherwise, we're getting low, so we might have to go for a refill. See if I can remember my train of thought earlier for the Ohio Goldfish Swim thing. Let me just cut over to this. In case you haven't heard anything about it, let me switch over to this one. And let me know if you can hear
Welcome
this.
back. You know, there's some new controversy surrounding a summertime tradition in Springdale.
The annual Goldfish Swim has been enjoyed by families, you know, over the years, but now
So this is the
people are raising some new concerns about it. 9 on your side's Josh Bazan joins us with why animal advocacy groups are speaking out.
A life is a life, period. Okay, be it a goldfish, a dog, a cat, a human being.
I don't necessarily agree with that 100%. Life is a life, obviously, but if I had a choice and it was between a goldfish and a human being, but yeah, I take the point.
That's a feeling shared by many about Springdale's annual Goldfish Swim. The popular event lets kids jump in the pool with about 1,000 goldfish, which they catch barehanded and bring home as pets. This year, the event has sparked public criticism, with some saying it is not safe for the fish.
I know it's extremely popular program to do with the kids, but as far as the fish is concerned, you know, it doesn't do them any favors, I'm sure.
I mean, has no one noticed this before in the past?
Anderson Township Family Pet Center says it's probably time to change the event up. After all, he says handling fish like that can damage their layer of slime that protects against infection. Another concern is how gentle little kids are with the animals.
The bigger concern would be the handling of the fish. The young children, you know, how hard do you hold a fish? I suppose if they wanted to make it a little bit safer, they'd have all the kids running around with nets trying to catch the fish.
The city's Facebook post about the annual event has more than 3,000 comments, many of them critical.
It's got a lot more than that now.
Goldfish Swim disgusting and animal cruelty.
In fact, I think they
the Pet
deleted it
Industry
eventually.
Joint Advisor Council out of Washington, D.C. says the event will unnecessarily threaten the health of over 1,000 goldfish and send a dangerous message to adults and children. The group recommends having kids catch ping pong balls or something else that they can exchange for fish. Many people are also concerned about chlorine in the pool. I've reached out to the city about that and about other concerns with the Goldfish Swim. Right now, I'm still waiting to hear back. Reporting in Springdale, Josh Bazan, 9 on your side.
So, that was the news report I think Joseph showed on his channel. And one of the things I noticed that he was going through, and the big difference of what would happen here, let's change that across, is that he had to phone dozens of departments basically to find out who was in charge and who had either the fight in the game or the ability to go and put a stop to it, or to make sure it was being regulated properly, or say, why are you doing this, and fix that loophole, or whatever it might be. The one good thing about this country is we have one phone number. You'd phone the RSPCA and say, oi, something dodgy's going on over there, and then they would take it up and they would go and sort it out. And they would sort it out by either bringing the police, or if they didn't have the necessary powers themselves, or whatever department needed to be involved, that would be your one point of ingress. RSPCA is the Royal Society for the Protection Against Cruelty to Animals. And they do have animal welfare at their heart. I mean, they're not perfect. None of these organisations are perfect. But at least we have that one point of ingress, if you like, of talk to them, they'll sort it out. If there's a problem and they haven't figured it out on their own, they will appreciate you telling them about it, and they'll go and make sure it's done. They might get the runaround a little bit, but 9 times out of 10 they're a very good organisation, and they do have the best in the welfare of the animals at heart. it seemed it was just a bit of a struggle for Joseph to contact the right people in the right places, which I don't think we'd have had that over here. I'm not saying that we're not got our own problems, and like I talked about earlier with fairgrounds and that kind of thing. But there we go. Let's see if we get any more comments. Mush the Snowman, like, hang on a second, we've got 26 people in here and only 10 likes. I believe it's my job to tell you all to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because I'm getting very close to 6,000 subscribers. Yeah, Mush the Snowman, have you bought from Dropcore all my fish from them? I haven't. I haven't used Dropcore. I'm aware of them, but I've never used them. How are you getting on with them? Are they doing well for you? Mr. Taylor111, I've just recently purchased my first load of discus. Excellent choice, sir. Or ma'am. Your videos have really helped me keep them coming. Good, I'm glad. A pool with chlorine in it. So, yes, Bjorn, this was a public swimming pool, basically, that you would go to with your kids and do swimming lessons or whatever. The first concession they made was that, well, we won't add chlorine the day that we had the fish. And then I think I've read some things on social media where they've now said that they will actually drain the pool and refill it without chlorinated water. Still doesn't sound great. It's embarrassing for my country. It's supposed to be civilized and modern technology and such. It's become public after the Facebook. But I mean, it's not embarrassing for your country. Your country's got many more embarrassing things. But it's not something that only happens in America. Like I've talked about the fairground thing here, where you have your travelling circus or your travelling fair, and they'll throw a ping pong ball into a hoop or whatever it might be and win a goldfish. That's been doing the rounds since I was a kid and much longer before. I remember my granddad had a fish that he kept in a little bowl that we won at a fair, and he kept that for years and years and years. That was one of the few exceptions to the rule that they all die. So I'm sure all countries have their own versions of this. It's not terrible America being horribly cruel to animals. So I don't think it's an American thing. I think it's the difference is, in this country we'd have one number. We'd phone the RSPCA if it was that bad, and they would probably put a stop to it. They used to, the thing with the fairgrounds, I thought that had been a stop had been put to that, but you still see it every now and again. What I'm wondering, someone said pools without chlorine is illegal in that state, so how is it chlorine free? Yeah, that was one of the questions here. So if you chlorinate a pool, so is it safe for the kids to swim in? If you don't chlorinate it, so it's safe for the fish to swim in, does that mean it's no longer safe for the kids to swim in? How does that work? There's just all these follow-on problems from it. Will the pool filter and overflow be running during the event? I do not know. The pumps and filters are shut off, says Aquatic Mark. Yeah, that would make sense. Do I have any problems growing Javafilm? It's said to be very easy to grow, but it just never does any good for me. I'm very similar. I keep it alive, but it doesn't flourish. And I think was it my old tank? My old display tank had a lot of Javafilm in it, and it did really well in that tank, and that had T5 lights. And Javafilm, they spawn by having little, I can't remember the proper name for it, but little sacs on the leaf, basically, which sprout out new plants. So you see one leaf comes out, and then another, and another, and another, and these are actually new plants that propagate that way. And it did brilliant in that tank, and then I think I moved them all over to another tank that was running at the time with LED lights, and they just kind of slowly wilted away and died. Well, they didn't die, but they just didn't continue to flourish. So I feel your pain there, Ozzy. Javafilm hasn't been brilliant for me. It's not done well in my current tank, but I think that's more because I let the algae take over, and that caused more problems. Great prices and no dead loss. I'm assuming you're talking about Dropcore. Again, is Dropcore what I think it is? Just bear with me while I use my extremely loud keyboard again. Tropical Aquarium Fish Online. Yeah, it is what I thought it was, but no, I've never used them. Let's see what their prices are like. I'll show everyone so you can see this at the same time. So this is Dropcore. $11.99, $11.95 delivery charge, or £100 delivered free. That's very reasonable. When I've sent fish before, the cheapest I can get it's about 15 quid for a box. So 12 quid, that's pretty good. All fish guaranteed for 7 days, also very good. Let's see, tetras. How much are some tetras? Cardinal tetras, medium, £1.18 to £1.45. That's not terrible. 10 cardinal tetras small, less than a tenner. That's better than not terrible. That's pretty good. The cardinal tetras I've just recently bought have been off a breeder, and they came in lovely, big fat cardinals. I can tell they're going to do well and they're going to be very hardy. Let's have a look at the discus. I always like to look at the discus on places like this. Even the good shops that I know of around here, when they sell discus and the prices they ask for the specimens they're offering, you're like, ugh, not with a barge pole, sir. So these aren't terrible prices, but I don't know where they get their discus from, so the kind of general advice with discus is, well, don't buy it from a pet shop or a fish shop, buy it from a specialist or a breeder or something like that. But one of the breeders I would recommend does supply a lot of pet shops. So I've been surprised sometimes when I've walked into a pet shop and I've gone, oh my god, look at those discus over there, they're pretty nice actually. And then it's come from one of the breeders that I know about. Snakeskin discus 3-inch, £49, that's a bit much I think. Well, it's not terrible. Well, I might try them out one day. Where actually are they? I always prefer, if possible, to actually go and see these places. Kent. No, I won't be going there. It's quite far away. But there you go. It's always nice to have a proper good recommendation from someone rather than an online review type thing. Unless, do you work for Dropcore? Yeah, great prices, no loss. I mean, how much can you ask for with that? Hey, Tony, did you ever get that t-shirt? Did it ever arrive? You won the t-shirt on our last giveaway, didn't you, Tony? Or am I misremembering that? How's the weather your end? It's changeable. I think it's about to start thundering and peeing down with rain, but it's pretty hot. It's just hard to predict at the moment. It's either freezing cold. Well, it's not been freezing cold. It's either been roasting hot and sunny, or roasting hot and rainy, or something in between. Uncomfortable for a man of my stature to sleep at night when it's this hot. When will you give us another live vid? I don't know. I need to get back into doing it properly. I've not done lives for a while. There's just too much to do. I've got 3 kids. They're always doing stuff. So unless I do live streams in the middle of the night, I'm not sure whether or not it'll be a regular thing. So you'll just have to make sure I can do the corporate shell thing. Make sure you click that notification bell and then you'll see when I schedule a live stream. I suspect the next few live streams will be more impromptu things like this, where I do it a few hours before. One day, assuming things pick up again, I'm sure I'll get back to scheduling one, whether it be a Friday night or midweek or whatever it might be. I just don't want to commit now and then disappoint everyone. If you order from Dropcore, I can do an unboxing video. They're popular. Yeah, not that popular. My last unboxing video, I think about 8 people watched it. Pessimistic optimist likes to see the fish that he's buying. I also like to see the fish that I'm buying. If possible. even when sometimes when you do see the fish that you're buying, you don't actually get to pick the ones you want because you're at the mercy of someone with a net and actually catching it. So whether or not that happens, I see where you're going with that. I know I've bought discus without seeing them personally because the breeds have been so far away, but they'll usually have like webcams, or they'll take pictures, or you see pictures of the fish that you're going to get. It would be great if you could see your fish all in person, but it's just not possible all the time. But that's my preference. But I know I have bought fish in the past without doing that and done pretty well overall, I must admit. Even the Pistos and the Cardinals that I bought there, I didn't see them. I did see pictures of them, but if anything, they're better than the pictures, so I'm more than happy with that. You've had Mush the Snowman's had discus from them, plenty of colour too. Well, have you got your own YouTube channel, Mr. Mush? Have you put any videos of them on there for any chance? Oh, I've almost timed out you by accident. Okay, I'll figure that out another day. I'd be interested in seeing someone that has discus from them, or where they get them from. Tony did get that t-shirt. Many ask about the logo. Good. I used to get people not ridiculing me, but raising an eyebrow at my logo because it's this one. So I'll show you the transition. So that's the logo that I have on my t-shirt that I'm not wearing at the moment. But it doesn't have my name or my channel or any of that. But I think that's better, isn't it? People are more likely to want to wear it. So we've got off topic slightly there. What I will say is, this is your last chance to ask any questions because I'm going to wind things up now. Thank you all so much for joining me. Still only got 14 likes. I don't know about that. What we need to do is, like I say, get back into the swing of getting the videos, pumping them out more regularly, and then I'll start worrying about the live streams. I do enjoy doing them, they're fun to do, but I find it hard to talk constantly for this amount of time. It's great when there's loads of people in chat asking questions, so thank you very much for helping me out with that. I shall try and, well, you can search for it yourself. Look for change.org Goldfish Swim. You'll find the petition that you can add your signature to if you feel like it. I think it's a good idea to at least sign the petition. Nothing will happen. I imagine the event will still go ahead tomorrow. It'll happen. If people turn up to protest, I'm assuming that drama will be more than anything good that will be done about the fish. Those fish are just, they're not long for this world. So it is what it is, but maybe we'll get it sorted for next year. And the fact is, this thing's been going on for more than 40 years. This is the first year that anyone's made a fuss about it, and I think it's because of social media. So I think the ask for people like me in the animal community is, if you see these events that you think you're a bit questionable, even if you're not sure, post it on Facebook, post it on Twitter. Then someone who might be more interested might then pick it up and run with it, because that's the only reason that we're talking about this now. Because they've gone, hang on, that's just not right, that seems a bit dodgy, let's not do that. And that's all we can ask for. So, thank you everyone for joining me. I'll just have a quick scan through these last few questions. We've kept discus for over 30 years, Mush. Excellent. Start a channel then and I can have a look at your discus. Smash the like button. Quite right. What have been my most popular videos? So my most popular video is the Discus 101 video. It's all the basics for, if you've never heard, there's a storm starting outside. If you've never had discus before, what do you need to know? What are the basics to get going? I think that's approaching 50,000 views. So I've never had a properly viral video or anything like that. Most of them are discus videos that have done the best, so yes, I know I should concentrate more on them. But it is what it is. I'm on iPhone, I don't see an option like that. Don't worry about it. It's just, you get these emails from YouTube every now and again, so once you get a few subscribers, they start giving you tips on how to sort it out. So apparently every 30 seconds I'm meant to say, smash that like button, or make sure you subscribe. So do smash that like button and do make sure you subscribe. That'd be very nice to get to 6,000 soon. Apparently if you close the chat, you'll see it under the video. Done and liked. Thank you very much. Right, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for joining me. Sorry it was a bit impromptu and a bit all over the place. I shall do a bit more research before my next live stream and make sure that I've got all my buttons everywhere and I know where it's going on and we've not just got a random orange square at the side of us. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But as ever, if you like this kind of thing, share it. If you know people who think they might like this kind of thing, tell them about it. Get them to subscribe. Give me likes, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.